Let Leta take you on a journey of faith, life, travel, and interior design. Take your life out of the status quo and into 2020. Status Life with Leta is brought to you by Status Home Design and by the law office of Derek M. Hayes at 404-777-HURT.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Status Life with Leta on Business RadioX. We are broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio in the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. On every episode of Status Life with Leta, we take you on a journey of faith, life, travel, and interior design. We want to take your life out of the status quo and into 2020. My name is Derek Hayes, and it's my pleasure to introduce the star of the show, Miss Leta Brooks. Good afternoon, Leta.
Good afternoon.
Great to see you as always.
Well, thank you.
And before we begin, a quick reminder that Status Life with Leta is brought to you by Status Home Design, your one-stop shop for all your home and gift needs. And by the law office of Derek M. Hayes. Injured in Georgia? Make the right call to the law office of Derek M. Hayes at 404-777-HURT. So let's get started.
Okay.
I know we have a fantastic show today, and we've been looking forward to it for a long time.
We have done some teasers, and today's the day.
Yeah, and you're taking all the listeners and your fans and lots of your friends on a journey of better health, including me.
That's right.
I know you've had tremendous feedback because many men and women want to both lose weight and get into better physical shape.
Well, I really started this thinking it would be a journey for women, right?
Yes.
I'm a woman, and lots of the feedback I've been getting has been from women. But actually, lots of men have responded. That was very eye-opening for me, just unexpected. But men need to get in better physical health too.
Yes, we do. So, how's your journey going?
It's going. How's your journey going?
I'm sorry. I think I asked you first.
Well, I'm on it, right? And that's the best place to be. It's a long process. It's not an easy process. I didn't get some extra weight on because this was easy. But I joined a fantastic boot camp, or maybe driveway workouts as they're called. She started doing workouts during the Corona shutdown. She's a personal trainer, and it really fits in my schedule. I love the workouts. I love moving again. I love sweating. I love seeing my body transform. But it also makes me really aware of what I'm eating. If I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to go and sweat in somebody's driveway, I'm not going to eat fast food. I'm really more conscious of seeing the change and putting the work in. So we're going to talk about the nutrition part a lot later in the show. But again, I started. I've kicked it off, and I'm excited to say that.
Well, this sure isn't an easy thing to do. I don't think anybody really wants to share a weight loss journey with people. That's not easy.
No. Remember the first couple shows when we talked about, I was clammed up. I was sweating. Nobody wants to come on the radio and talk about the fact that they want to lose weight, right? That's very private. This is very taboo to men and women. You can say, I want to get in better health, and you can say it kind of flippant, but nobody wants to really, truly talk about the scale and the fact that they're wearing pants that are 2 to 3 or however many sizes bigger than they used to wear. So yes, that's very vulnerable. But to have this platform and to be able to help people, which is the ultimate goal, that's why I put it out there.
And just so we're clear, I think you look absolutely fantastic.
You always say
all
that.
the time.
Okay.
All the time.
How's your journey going, by the way?
Kicking
and
still
screaming.
Talking about
yeah,
you. We're still talking about you.
We're going to get to you. You're going to go in the hot seat.
That's a 3-part series to cover.
So we talked about being vulnerable and some of the things that I've put out there. Let's just do a quick little recap right now because we're changing all this. But a lot of people can relate. I had that midday crash. I would get home from work and couldn't stay awake. Even if I got home from work a little bit earlier when the kids get off the bus, I need that 20, 30-minute nap. And if I'm super tired, it's longer than that. And I hate it. I hate not being able to push through my day with the energy that I want. I hate that my shorts and my pants were getting tight. That goes without saying. My skin went crazy. Ugh, come on. It's awful. It's awful. And we can all feel this. And I bet plenty of you right now are going, yep. I have all those things. High stress. I do a lot. I'm a mom. I've got kids. I work, sports, you name it, right? I've got high stress levels, and I was not working out to help alleviate that stress.
It's a lot more than just that quarantine 15 then that everybody talked about.
I had it on before quarantine. I can't blame it on that. We joke about that. We're all getting the quarantine 15. But trust me, this was an issue way before the coronavirus started. I actually had 2 doctors tell me I was suffering from what I'll call stress sickness. They probably had a fantastic medical term for it. But I thought I was sick on 2 separate occasions. Went to a doctor, and I picked 2 different ones because I didn't like what the first one said. And the second one said the exact same thing. I can't ignore that advice. Very lethargic, sluggish, depressed, gaining weight. It was stress.
Yeah, I remember every bit of that.
It was awful.
Yeah, and I was very worried about you at the time. You didn't seem like yourself. I remember you called me one time crying because you weren't well, and you just were stressed. I could tell, and it was all under your control to fix it, but you were very upset about it.
That was the upsetting part, that I'm in a doctor and feeling this way strictly because of stress. And I know better.
And being around you, as long as I have, been in a relationship with you, I've also realized a lot of my health and bad habits.
I like to point them out.
Yeah, things I didn't realize. But, yes, they've come to the surface. And, yes, you pointed them out. But
let's just tell people, I'm not trying to pick on you, right? I do this 100% out of love. I just want you to be around for a minute, right? You're a little bit older than I am, 10 years. And we want you to be here for a while. We're trying to start a life together.
Yes. And I know, and things that, as I said, were brought to the surface, and things that, in reality, I knew them, but I've just not addressed them. I've not had time. I've been too busy with work, with raising my own kids, and being an attorney, and being wrapped up with normal day-to-day stresses. I was working way too long. I wasn't exercising. I haven't had a chance to very much. I coached my kids' sports forever, but once they stopped playing rec league and travel ball, those kind of things, and started playing in high school, I stopped coaching. I don't sleep well. That's always been an issue for me. My work is very high stress as an attorney. There are deadlines. There are all kinds of things that can raise that stress level. And I've been on BP meds, blood pressure meds, since I was in high school. Back my 10th grade year in high school, I couldn't pass the physical to play football until I got on blood pressure meds. So I've been on them since then. And like everybody else, I love sugar. Sweet tea is my poison, if you want to call it that. Yeah. I could hook up an IV with sweet tea and be good for a while.
We're going to dig into that even deeper, because a lot of people, look, producer Mike's shaking his head. Yep. I mean, again, it's everybody's got something from your list or my list that they can attach to. And so that's what we're here. We're here to kind of combat these problems and tackle them head on. So it's not just a women's health journey. This is for everyone.
Yeah, and because of that, we have a very special guest today that's been very hard to get in the studio, and for a very good reason. But, Leta, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to let you make the introduction.
Okay, I'm going to do a big one here. Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about this journey to better health, and today I've brought in an expert that I promise will change your life. Please welcome to the show, Crystal Ledwith.
We're actually doing the wave in the studio right now.
All right. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Crystal, I am going to let you tell all of our listeners your credentials and what you do for a living. What makes you the expert that has been so difficult to get you in the studio today?
Well, first I want to say thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys and an honor. I have been in women's health for about 20 years now. I am a women's health nurse practitioner, and I see both OB and GYN patients for a full-time job, and then everyone has a side gig, right? And I help people with their health and wellness. And I've been doing that now for about 3 years.
And you're busy, right? Between both of those, right? You're in an office, you're in a practice.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I work in a local OBGYN office here in Atlanta full-time, and then I also am a working mother like yourself.
Yes.
Very, very busy, lots of hours, and also do help with weight loss and health promotion kind of on the side, but also tends to be more full-time as well. So 2 full-time jobs and a working mother.
Wow. Right. And there you go. And that's why she was hard to get on the schedule, but she made time for all of us today. And so with that background and that education, wait, you guys, because when Crystal and I talked, I mean, I'm hanging on every word she said. So I'm so excited for you to give that to our listeners.
All right. I'm going to jump in real quick. I want to know, what is the number one question that you get asked from the majority of people? What's the number one thing?
Why can't I lose weight?
Number one.
Number
That's
one.
what everybody needs.
Absolutely. When they're pregnant, not pregnant, when they're 19 these days. I get this a lot from young women. I get it from the moms. I get it from the 20-somethings, 30-somethings, menopausal, premenopausal. It's always, why can't I lose weight?
Why? Okay, so everybody's got different issues. I get it. But what do you see the most? What's the biggest struggle?
The biggest struggle is that in America, everything is quick. It's fast food. It's quick in a hurry. It's cheap. Everybody's on the go. You know, parents these days are taking children here and there. And right now, you know, working moms are trying to be a working mom hat. Then they come home and they're trying to be the mom. And, you know, with all that's going on in the world right now, you're also having to be the teacher. And then you got to be the wife. And then you got to be the soccer coach or the team mom or, you know, the cheerleading coach and 1,000,001 hats. And where do you fit time in for nutrition there when you've got billboards and commercials and even in commercials on TV and advertisements everywhere saying, oh, eat here. It's healthy for you. And they're not telling everybody what's in this food that's quick, fast, in a hurry, and cheap. And people think they're doing the right thing by choosing a fast food sort of grilled chicken. So why am I still gaining weight when they're eating that fast food 5 times a week?
Okay, so dig a little deeper into that, right?
Okay.
All right, so they're eating fast food chicken. I'm going to go to Zaxby's and I'm going to get that salad because I think I'm being healthy, right? And okay, so
That's one of my favorites, by the way, and I do it as well.
yeah, absolutely. We all do because we're on the go and the best thing to get is a salad if we're being good that day. I mean, chances are, I don't want a Zaxby's salad.
I mean, I'll do grilled.
But-
I'll even do grilled chicken as opposed to the fried.
Right,
right.
Thinking I'm doing something right.
Correct.
All
correct.
right, so break that down a little bit and tell us why that is not the best choice.
Right. Okay. So everyone thinks salad is always a good choice, but what they're forgetting about are these empty calories that you're going to find in a salad. So first and foremost, most of these salads are going to come from a non-organic source. So you're getting the lettuce and the carrots and the tomatoes and the cucumbers on there that are not organic. So they've got pesticides. The soil gets overturned. The nutrients are not there. They're not really those good leafy greens like you would get if you chose a organic green leaf lettuce. And 9 times out of 10, how many times do you pay $4 to $8 for this salad, and you're picking out all of the nasty iceberg that's yellow, that's brown, right? And you're like,
The stems.
right. And you're like, oh, that was a fabulous 3-leaf salad I had
Right.
today with some grilled chicken. And then we have the grilled chicken. It's usually not going to be an organic based chicken, and it's going to be full of steroids. And you know what they do that makes it so yummy? They put all this seasoning with all this sodium in it, and they dip it in butter, and they cook it onto this quote unquote grill that's got butter on it. That's why it's good. That's why you like it. That's why it's quote unquote juicy, because it's been, you know, not organic. It's got steroids in it. It has all these things in it. And then you've got the vegetables the same, but then you got the dressing. And when you order this Zaxby salad, for instance, it comes with how many packets of dressing?
2 packs.
Right. And how many is the
'Cause
serving?
one's not enough.
Yeah.
You don't
actually,
eat roast
actually
dry
sometimes 2
salad.
isn't enough either.
Right.
I'm guilty of that.
Absolutely. Everyone is. And then you rip that open and you pour it over the salad, right? So now
Yeah.
you've got 2 servings of a dressing that's already not a good choice for you, covering all the good that was actually there and the little bit of good that you had to start with, right?
Wow.
And you're going to justify that was okay because it was a salad today. And it was, like you said, Derek, it's grilled, not fried.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
you could have ordered the fried Zaxby
Yeah.
salad, but you didn't. You went with the grilled. So you're patting yourself on the back and really you just ate a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
There really wasn't anything that was of good nutritional value in that. But it was fast. It was somewhat cheap, right? And you fed it to your kids. You're doing a good job. You didn't let them have dessert today. You know, when you ordered that salad, because you got to have them amped up on protein for their sporting event that you're headed to.
Right,
So you
right.
feel good about it. So you reassure yourself that the choice that you just made was good. The problem is no one's taken 5 seconds to let you know how non-nutritionally valuable that food really was.
So this to me is fascinating, and I just love hearing all because you come out and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to change everything, right? I have to go at home and I have to pull all the junk out of the pantry. There was some, and I wish I had it right this moment. I'm going to think about it maybe for the next show. There is some statistic that now the way that food manufacturers are supposed to be packaging, what is it? 10 minutes. That's what a mom wants to prep dinner is 10 minutes, right? So they're supposed to, the peel off the plastic mashed potatoes that you
Right,
just
stick
pop
in
in
the
the
microwave.
microwave, right?
Yeah.
The mac and cheese, anything that you can literally heat up
Yes.
and put on the table. I think it's 10 minutes. That
That
is all
sounds
the
about
time.
right.
And
Yeah.
then all that is processed.
Right.
There's nothing good. Those potatoes are not organic. They didn't come from the earth. I mean, it just
Right.
makes you think about it.
And they're full of butter.
The light bulbs
Yes.
are just going
Salt.
off for me. I hope they are for all of our listeners too.
Right,
Going,
right.
wow, this is just crazy. All right, I'm going to stay on this, like I said, one more time. Tell us break down a little bit more. Most people for lunch, they go get a sandwich. You go to Subway, and I know there's better and worse choices, and sometimes that is your option, and I understand, and sometimes a salad is your only option, but at least breaking it down gives us more thought. But go just to a basic lunch. You're going to get a sandwich. You're going to Firehouse. You're going to Subway. What break that down with the bread and what that does for you by mid-afternoon.
Yes. So, typically we need 3 carbs a day. And then you think about when you go to a sub place of any sort and you have that big 6-inch white bread. That's about 2 carbs right there.
Okay.
So now you've ixnayed any other carb for the rest of the day except 1 serving.
Not to mention if you eat a footlong.
Correct.
So
Right. If you have a footlong, then it's over.
We're women. I don't eat a footlong. I can't.
Right.
But
men
might,
do.
The men do.
Yeah. My husband does.
Depends on how hungry I am
Right.
in the moment.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Right.
Sure.
And how much time I have. That's the other thing,
Okay.
too.
So if you eat a footlong, that's 4 carbs.
Oh, absolutely.
At a minimum. Okay.
That's before we add what you put on it.
Right.
So let's just say they decide to do good and they choose, like a club. A lot of people will do like a ham, a turkey, whatever. Again, let's go back to that meat source. Where'd it come from? How much nitrites are in that? How much sodium is in that processed meat? What about the cheese? Cheese is loaded with sodium. It's got lots of cholesterol in it. Where's it coming from? Where is this dairy source of this cheese that's coming from? And then all those veggies you just threw on it. How much of them have pesticides on it where they had to turn the farm multiple times? Now we're going to throw on the oregano and the vinegar and, all the dressing or the mustards and all those things that people put on their sandwiches, the mayonnaises. And then you're there and it's a meal deal. You're going to save money if you're going to get this large Coke and you're going to get these bag of
exactly.
chips.
I'll do the
Oh my
combo.
gosh.
Right. So, dude, I'm saving money. Bring on the Coke or the sweet tea.
And can I make that an extra large sweet tea?
Right. Because I can sip on that all day, right?
That's right.
Right.
I'll refill it before I leave, and that way
Well,
it'll
that's
last me.
true. You'll drink 4.
Oh, yeah.
Four sweet teas at one meal, especially if we're in a restaurant. They
Oh,
just may as
my.
well.
Okay,
No, they
fine.
do. I'm sorry.
But that-
I'm calling you out.
Yes.
That
you
is
are.
his vice, though, I will say. He doesn't really do much of anything else. Not to digress. I'm still
Right.
picking on
Did you
Derek.
feel the bus?
Yes,
Ran
I
over you
did.
twice.
That's right. I was still down. It hit me again. But
Oh.
that's
Did it.
okay.
Got you on the second time.
Yep.
But that's not uncommon. A lot of
Right,
people do
right.
this. And so, they're thinking, I saved money today. My wife or my husband's going to be proud. I got the combo today. I got my chips. But instead of picking the Lay's, I chose the Cheddar Harvest. They makes them feel better about themselves because marketing. Look at the billboard when you walked into that restaurant and the marketing states we have pretzels. Oh, well, pretzels are better than the Doritos. I'm making a better choice. But at the end of the day, you have to flip around those packages and you've got to read your nutrition facts. No one's reading nutrition facts anymore, and
No.
that's where we're failing ourselves.
I always think of sun chips. The sun chips, are those more healthy, really, or am I still falling into that trap?
You have to turn them over. So I have been guilty of forgetting my lunch, running out the door before, again, busy, running out the door, get to the office, and I'm like, oh. Well, there happens to be a sub shop 2 doors down from my office. So again, it's a healthier choice, right? So I go in and I usually order tuna. I'll get it on a bed of greens and that's what I'll eat. So I omit the bread and omit the chips, but was there with another provider and they were trying to choose what chip and they were judging themselves over what they were eating because they were there with me and they were like, don't judge me. I'm like, it's your life. It's your cholesterol. It's your blood pressure. It's not mine. I don't care. And so they were admiring how healthy my choices were and that I was eating something they're not used to seeing people order when you go to a sub place. I didn't order any bread. Who goes to a sub shop and doesn't order bread? It's crazy. So anyway, we were looking at the chips and you'd be surprised at what's better than the other. You just got to read your nutrition facts.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where you have to get educated, right? All right, so we've broken down some of the lunch, which is easy, and I know we could probably spend hours on dinner and all the different meals, and I'm not going to take your time and make you break down everything that we eat as a society. Sorry.
Right.
But so the number one question is, how can I lose weight? Where do you start? It can be very overwhelming. Let's say someone is obese to someone like me who's just got 15 to 20 extra. Start baseline.
Okay, great. So typically what I'll do is this person is sitting in front of me with a borderline blood pressure, their BMI or their body mass index, which takes your height and your weight together and calculates what you need to be. And a normal would be between 18 and 25. Most women and even young women are not there. They're a little overweight or even, like you said, obese. Everyone can start the same. Everyone thinks I'm going to tell them, go home, clean out your refrigerator, clean out your pantry, change your entire life, get a gym membership, spend, $100 a month at a gym. I don't want you to do any of that. I don't do any of that. What I want you to do is be aware of what's passing between your lips because a woman's weight, and even men too, is 80% of what goes in your mouth. 20% of exercise. You cannot outrun your fork. You cannot outtrain a bad diet. So you can lose 80% of your problem by just fixing what passes between your lips, but you got to be accountable. So I always like to start with my patients, and say, I want you to just download an app. Any app will work. I'm not trying to promote anything, but MyFitnessPal is free. A lot of people use it, and it's got almost every restaurant you can eat and their menu items. So it makes it really easy. You can even scan what you're eating. It'll upload it for you. You can adjust your serving size that you ate that day. It just makes you accountable. And I tell women, don't change a thing. Eat everything you normally do, drink everything you normally do, but log it. And I want you to put your current weight and what you want your weight to be. And I want you to see what it suggests your calorie intake should be, what your fat intake should be, what your protein and your fiber should be. And then I challenge you to keep eating the same way for 2 weeks. Most people who truly want to make a change, and you have to have that line drawn in the sand where you decide today I'm done and that it really matters, log everything, and they look back and they're kind of disgusted and they have a hard time eating what they normally would after a few days because they cannot believe the caloric intake on what they've been eating.
It just keeps thinking awareness, right? Using that app like that is just awareness and starting to be aware.
Yes.
And you'll automatically cut your calories.
Right. So when you go to log in the grilled chicken from Chick-fil-A, right? And you look at, you ordered the small fry, not the medium. So you're proud of yourself, right? But then you start logging those calories and you go, you know what? I'm going to substitute my fries today. I'm going to get the fruit cup. I'm going to get me some fruit servings today. And it just makes you aware, and you'll start to automatically make those changes. It's not a drastic thing. If it's drastic, it's going to fail.
Right.
You're not going to do it. Nobody's going to. And then after you do that, I always ask them, I say, run me through your day. And 9 times out of 10, maybe 9 3/4 out of 10, I will be able to pinpoint where there are some weaknesses that we can slightly tweak and change to make that better.
So what are the typical very first steps to make changes, aside from the food itself, the exercise? Is it walking more and ultimately working up to running or workouts or joining a gym, those kind of things? What are your suggestions typically for something like that? How do I get started in an exercise routine?
Find the time of your day that you know you can make a change. If you get done with dinner and you sit on the couch from 7 to 9 p.m. and you stare, and I call it the scroll hole. You get on Facebook or Instagram and you just scroll.
Mm-hmm.
And
We're all guilty.
Yeah, everybody is. And I'm guilty. My husband's guilty. You're just scrolling. Next thing you know, 45 minutes has gone by and you've been overwhelmed with everybody else's quote unquote perfect life on social media and you don't even know what to do now. So, definitely find something that you're doing in your day that's really wasting time and see what can I do to make a difference. And I tell people 20 minutes is kind of like the sweet spot. Just commit 20 minutes at first and go on YouTube and put in 20-minute yoga, 20-minute breathing, 20-minute stretching. You don't have to go get a gym membership. If you have gym equipment in the home that you're using as a coat hanger, 20 minutes. Hop on your favorite podcast and do the podcast listening while you're walking. Just little bitty tweaks in your day where you can find that you can make a difference.
Yeah, every bit of that makes great sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I wanted you, I don't want to be in the hot seat, and I've put Derek in the hot seat today. You know where I'm going with this, right?
I do.
I tried to cue
Is
him
it
up.
time for me to get up and go to another
and
room?
he evaded
No, sir.
the question. All right. Again, love, honey. I'm doing this for love. So I love this exercise that you do. And maybe it's not a physical exercise, but when someone sits down in front of you, you're at a client, okay? Everybody is getting your fabulous advice today. So I can just imagine women. I've got friends. I've got tons of friends right now. We're all in our 40s, going into our 50s, and everybody wants to lose weight, right? I've had this conversation so many times lately. And so, but like I said, we're going to put Derek in the hot seat. Here's where I'm going with this. The way that someone can sit in front of you and you pick apart their day. They say, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Run them through their day. How you say, okay, real fast, I can figure out exactly what you're doing wrong to not lose that weight. Right?
Right, absolutely. Okay. But I don't want to tell them what they're doing wrong. I'm going to tell them what we can alter or tweak or improve, because I don't want you to feel bad about what you're doing. I just want to open up your eyes to see where you can make a difference. So we'll start with you, Derek. So let's say you're sitting in my office today. Crystal, I can't lose weight. Awesome. Challenge accepted. What time do you wake up every day?
It depends on what time I go to sleep. That's my problem, first of all, is getting that sleep. But generally, I'm up by 7, sometimes 6:30ish. That doesn't mean I'm out of the bed. I'm awake.
Okay.
And I'll stay in the bed for a little bit and try and potentially get a little more rest. But ultimately, I'm physically out of the bed by 7:30 or 8.
Okay. And what's the first thing that you eat or drink, and what time is that?
Here recently, it's been a protein shake, and that's usually been on the way to work. As I'm walking out the door, I'll get dressed, head out the door, grab it, and just drink in the car on the way to the office.
And what time is that?
It depends. Anywhere from 8:30 till 9.
Okay.
9:30 maybe.
So you've been awake 2 to 3 hours before you put
Sure.
in your first food. Okay.
Yes.
And then tell me what happens next as far as food intake. What time is it and what are you eating?
Usually, well, it varies. Lunchtime, I'll try anytime between noon and 2. Sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later, but typically noon and 2, and I'll make a salad. I did the fast food thing. I would go get the fast food salads. Zaxby's is one of my favorites. Others, Wendy's, they have a good salad. Chick-fil-A. But I've started trying to prep my own salads at the office, but that's also time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer I stay at the office, the later it gets in the day. And suddenly I realize it's 1:30, it's 2 o'clock, and I haven't eaten yet. And I'll stop and then quickly throw together a salad, sit at my desk, and I kind of graze for the next 2 hours because I'm still working and I'm sitting there.
You're grazing on the salad that you made?
Yes.
Tell me what's in your salad.
Kind of boring. Lettuce, generally it depends on, I like the butter lettuce, the butter leaf lettuce.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'll do the spring mix, those kinds of things. I'll do cheese, which I
Mm-hmm.
know is probably overloaded with. I like some lettuce with my cheese. Occasionally bacon bits, some sort of meat, maybe ham, chicken, those kind of things.
Okay.
And honey mustard is my vice. And
Okay.
croutons, and I could keep going.
Yeah, keep going. I want to hear it because you're. This is what people do.
really
Fried
slow.
onions, which I know they
Yeah.
put on Zaxby salads.
Yeah.
Which, but that's pretty much it. I don't do tomatoes. I don't do cucumbers.
You don't
Some
do the
of
healthy stuff.
So it's
that's right. I don't.
carbs, cheese,
Yes.
a little lettuce,
Yes.
maybe some protein.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then what are you drinking with that lunch?
Sweet tea.
Okay. What size sweet tea?
As much as I can get in my body.
And where's it coming from? Making it at home, buying it at the store?
No, I buy it at the store. I usually buy it at the store.
Okay. So like
Just
a Publix brand
jug.
sweet tea?
Yeah, a gallon
Okay.
jug. And it'll last me, honestly, a gallon jug will last me through the week.
Okay. Then, so we're grazing on this sometime between 12 and 2.
Yeah.
When do you eat again?
It varies. Again, it depends on what time I leave the office. Sometimes I don't leave the office till 9 o'clock. And I quickly go home, and as sad as it seems, at that point, I'll eat a bowl of cereal.
Okay.
Something quick.
Right.
One of those microwave kind of things she talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Just something that can be thrown in the microwave and thrown together. Pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Those kinds of things.
Okay.
But I don't map out a meal plan in the morning. Oh, I'm going to cook this for dinner at this time.
Right. Okay. So my favorite thing to say is failure to plan is planning to fail.
Okay.
If you
I
don't
need to write that
plan,
down.
you're
Right.
going to plan to fail.
Sure.
We're all guilty of it. So we're now eating some microwave something, carb loaded something, it sounds like, at around 9 o'clock at night. Then what do you do after that?
I work many times
Okay.
whenever I've brought home, or I'll just do stuff around the house. I mean,
Okay.
that's my time to, my son's home and spend time with him, watch the news, just check up on daily events, those kinds of things, or just stuff that needs to be done.
Time you go to bed, not time you fall asleep, time you go to bed.
Usually I'm physically getting in the bed anywhere from 12:30 to 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my. And then how long until you actually fall asleep?
Again, it varies. I would say that 2 o'clock maybe,
Okay.
sometimes later. I use one of those sleep apps sometimes, the sound effects to try
Yes.
and encourage sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. What do you do in the last hour before bed?
Drink about 10 gallons of water.
Okay. Where you never mentioned anything throughout the earlier part of your day. Are you drinking water at any other time of the day, or are you only drinking it when you get home?
Usually when I get to the office between my protein shake and lunch, I'll drink water. We have water bottles, and so I'll grab a water bottle and usually, I'll finish one off.
So one 12 to 16 ounce bottle of water
Yeah.
you're drinking all day while you're at work. The rest is sweet tea, get home, carby dinner, then you're thirsty.
Yes.
Got it. Now you probably can't sleep because you're peeing all night.
Well, that's part of it. That with blood pressure meds too.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're a normal man. That's what you are.
Okay.
You're a normal man. And there's a lot of room for improvement. You got to go to bed sooner because you got to have anywhere between 6.5 and 8 hours of sleep. Very, very important. People underestimate the importance of sleep. Sleep is very important. If you're not getting enough, your body's not resting. If your body's not resting, it can't recover. Then it just runs on a rampant cycle of chronic fatigue, which is horrible for your health. And you are a very young gentleman, and
Thank you.
You are in fairly good shape sitting here with you. And you do, as you already shared yourself, have some blood pressure meds, but a little bit of sleep, a lot more water earlier in the day, a little less sweet tea, and you need to eat more frequently. Biggest mistake. I have patients tell me, I don't like breakfast. I don't eat it. I don't care. You got to eat it. I don't like to sweat.
So is a protein shake sufficient, or should there should there actually be some sort of meal?
Well,
Does that count as a meal, in other words?
Yeah, depending on what your protein shake is. So they're not all treated equal. Some protein shakes are high in sugar because they taste good, so then you'll buy more, but it doesn't necessarily do what you need. So it's all about the quality of the protein shake that you're eating.
All right, so we're going to transition this is a perfect spot because we're going to talk about the shakes. We're going to go a little bit more into depth about this, but I want to set up a little teaser that we have talked about doing this as a 3, possibly 4-part series because there is so much to cover. We have not even scratched the surface, right? We've dug a little deeper today into what the issues are and how to just get started, the little things. So I want everybody listening to this, get an app, start tracking, and in 2 weeks, we're going to have another podcast, right? And we'll dig a little bit deeper, and then you'll take those changes and implement them, and then in 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks. So by the time we're done with this series, I want everybody listening to be in fantastic health because we're not talking about weight. We're talking about health, right? I can say, yes, this started because... what did you call it? The line. Everybody, you said this to me privately. Let's put it on air. Everybody has their line. When
line
they get
in the sand.
Line in the sand when they get frustrated enough, right?
Yes.
And I hit mine.
Right.
So that's what started this. And I just happen to have a platform to be able to help a lot of people. So 3 or 4 shows. And we're gonna dig even deeper. So okay. But what I wanted to transition to is I really, really do not want anyone listening to this to feel like we're going to pitch a product. But I do think it's important to mention, I promised everyone listening that I would share what system worked for me. Okay, that's what I'm doing, what exercises I'm doing, and what nutrition system worked for me. You and I both happen to love the same one, and that is a sheer coincidence, right?
Correct.
And so we have found this amazing system called Isagenix. I know why I use it, and all I can say is it is 100% convenience. It does almost the prep for me without thinking about it. Other than that, I really don't know a lot about it. I watched some videos. I was kind of talked into this, but I love the vitamins and I love the shakes. But you're going to explain to everyone, why do we love this system?
So being a nurse practitioner, particularly focused in women's health, in my mid-30s, I kind of had my line in the sand moment, if you will. Things were shaking on my body when I was brushing my teeth one day, and I thought, I don't know when that fell apart like that, but we're going to have to fix that real quick. And I happened to come across a friend that told me she had this wonderful shake that she loved and changed her life, and I just didn't believe her. Really was skeptical, and so I did a lot of research on it myself because my husband and I have eaten very clean and very organic since 2005, before it was even a thing, and I really value what goes in my body. I'm very famous for saying you're going to get what you put in is what your body's going to give you out. If you give it really good, it's going to give you out really good. So I've been focused on that for a while. My last sweet tea was in 2005, Derek. So if I can do it, you can do it.
I've had plenty for you and me since 2005. And your husband and your kid.
Right. So we'll draw your line soon. But nonetheless, so I actually did a lot of research for about 6 months on Isagenix, trying to prove why it just couldn't be that great, right? Because it just, there's no way. It sounded too convenient. It sounded really too good to be true. And so in doing that, I found out that it comes from New Zealand, where they have much higher standards for their food than we do here in the United States with the FDA. And that would be a whole nother topic. But so looking at that, it comes from grass-fed cows, and it is an undenatured whey protein is what the protein shakes themselves are kind of based off of. And it's not just a protein shake. It's not real high protein like you hear about at some of these nutrition stores. It's 18 grams of protein in the regular routine shake and less than 10 grams of sugar, which is amazing. So it's got really good base for your body. And then it's also in a liquid form. And anytime you can drink whey protein, your body's going to break it down easier. And you hear about people with all these gluten sensitivities and all of these gut issues. I mean, everybody's got gut issues these days. And reading what's in these shakes, I was like, wow, that's really clean. I'm going to try it. And so I actually did it to prove to my friend that there's no way this is going to be as amazing as you say. But after reading what's in it, I don't feel bad about trying it, right? So I tried it. And by day 4, a light switch went off in my body, and I felt the best I'd ever felt. Like you talked about earlier with the skin, and just I feel like the sluggishness and just the that I was feeling as I was getting older and hormones were kicking in, all that was going away.
It does. It begins to lift.
Yes. And my brain fog was gone. Like I could focus better.
For me, it took the first 3 to 4 days and I almost felt worse, but at the same time, I felt like it was leaving. It's like I felt like the health and nutrition was all coming in, and all the junk that I needed to cleanse out was detoxing.
Yeah,
and leaving.
yeah.
Yes.
And people just don't believe it till you do it. And that's what my friend was saying. Oh, it's like a detox. I'm like, she's crazy.
Right.
But she was right. And my husband saw it, and he said, honey, I want some of that. And he's a bodybuilder. He's been in the gym every day for a minimum of an hour since he was 17. He loves it. We do it. It's been 3 years. My 11-year-old drinks it. It's just amazing the quality of this product, right? And so that's what made me start using it. And that's actually what makes me continue. The convenience, like you said, is what I love about it. I mean, I have it in my purse now. So convenience, but also that it's made from really good quality products.
So I use it 100% for convenience. I love the vitamins. Again, you have to, I don't want to go through the ins and outs of how it works, right? That would just take a lot of time on air. But what I want to set up is that if you hear this and you want to know more, we are here as a resource, right? I love this, and I'm only telling you about it because I promised I would. And I found Crystal, and she loves it too. So if you are interested in Isagenix and you want to get some more information, just send me a Facebook message, Status Life with Leta. We will send you all the information. There's coaching. I mean, everything that you need. When they send the message, right? You're not committing just to get the information, but they're going to get all sorts of, I know that's what came to me when I first showed interest, and you watch the video and you start reading some of the information, and it's can transform your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's just a very short, less than 5-minute video I like to send that just says, hey, just watch this. Do you think this is something you could incorporate into your life? And it kind of gives a little basis about the program itself. Well,
I can speak to Leta. I've kind of lived vicariously through her as she started the Isagenix trip, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm encouraged now to start it myself. So
you're going to start.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I need the applause.
The bus finally left, and it's been sitting on top of me now for a while, but I can actually see the light of day. Thank you.
Derek's going to get help.
I would do the wave, but the bus is keeping me from doing that.
Well, I'll be real interested to see, following Crystal, following this podcast, if you're going to start the Isagenix or just start with the basic tracking what you eat, really breaking it down. And I could see when you were talking, and I hope this translated on air, it's vulnerable. I could
it's uncomfortable.
Derek, you have so much kind of zest in your voice and in your life. And when we put you in the hot seat, you kind of went inward. Right? It's uncomfortable, and it's okay, right? We're all here to do this together. So I'm curious to see how you transform.
But as an attorney, I will remind you, I was not under oath. I was not under oath during the course of my questioning.
All right. Oh, yes.
So I just think that I love your idea of the listeners who are interested in making this change, doing these tiny steps. So I love that you're encouraging them to do the app, and I really think that's great. But also remember, just find 20 minutes. Just pay attention to your daily routine in the next few days and see if you can pick 20 minutes for yourself. Because remember, if you put yourself first, you can give so much more to everybody else. Kids, spouse, work, home, all of it. So just remember that you give more when you're at your top.
That's really great advice. I know you said that to me privately in my session when you put me in the hot seat and you said I went through my whole day and you said, what did you do for you? And there was nothing. There was nothing. I mean, and sleep is not my issue. I sleep like a tank. I only have one kidney, so I have half a filtration system. So I think I need more rest than everybody else. And I will take it. I will just fall asleep on you. So I do. I sleep a lot. Anyway, but that's my own issue. And again, we're going to wrap up today because we've covered enough. Thank you everyone for listening. This is such a journey, and you can hear it in me. I'm so excited. I'm excited to transform myself. Derek, everybody listening, send me your feedback. Send your questions. We've got Crystal. We've got this advice for the next few weeks. If you have anything you want to know, Derek will read it on air. We can cover some points. We're going to go through depression and how that plays into weight loss. We're going to talk about genetics. That's a huge thing. Hormones. I mean, again, sleep. We have not even touched.
Right. There's a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, before we close today, I want you to tell about your social media.
Okay. How to find everything.
Yes.
Status Home Design. All right. So we have the 12,000 square foot store located in Metro Atlanta, Status Home Design. We have a website, www.statushomedesign.com. The Status Market is our e-commerce store, Status Life with Leta, blog and podcast, everything status, right? And it's all wrapped up in that one site. There are Instagram, Facebook pages for everything. But if you are specifically interested in the Isagenix, email me that privately. Go to Status Life with Leta. I meant Facebook message me that. Okay? That's it.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
It is. And I encourage anyone, if you haven't gone to the website yet, go check it out. There's all kinds of stuff on there, but also, too, the social media. Facebook is terrific. Scroll through it. Check everything out. And I've said this about you before. I'll say it again. Empowered women empower women.
Yes, thank you.
So, do I get brownie points for that one?
You do.
Even after being hit by the bus
Yes.
and whatever.
It's
And thank
good.
you, Crystal, for coming today. It's terrific. All great advice. And yes, I've wiped the sweat away a few times, but that's okay.
Thanks for having us.
And this journey for the next several podcasts is going to be great. I'm sure a lot of people will learn a lot. I already have.
Looking forward to it.
Well, as we close, thank you so much again for joining us on Status Life with Leta, presented by Status Home Design and the law office of Derek M. Hayes. Don't forget that you can enjoy any of our podcasts anytime by visiting businessradiox.com, selecting the Gwinnett Studio, and then clicking on Status Life with Leta. This program is also available in your favorite podcast app. Until next time, for Leta Brooks, I'm Derek Hayes, and you've been listening to Status Life with Leta on Business Radio X.